you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm very well.
In terms of the process so far, how has it been?
It's been peaceful. It's been, I mean, there's no problem with the process as at now.
And in terms of your interactions with the delegates, a short while ago, they voted massively for you as the constituency chairman. You are now contesting as MP. The same delegates, even though this time around you have a different opponent. Confident of victory?
Very confident of victory. In the constituency congress or conference that elected me as the chairman, I beat his person with close to 200 votes. And all those 200 people are still alive and they voted today. So you see the result at the end of the day.
If the gentleman who is contesting, he's my cousin, okay? If he thinks in his wildest dreams that I'm going to get a maximum of 200 votes today, and he will back the rest, in a little over 5 hours, the ballot boxes will be open and counted, and we will see the results.
Before I let you go, one of my colleagues, when I took a photograph of you, she said that you, MFR Power, she actually said that you have interesting outfits always for elections. This time around, Jata, what is it you're wearing? Tell us about your outfit.
Well, elections are, like I said, a science and an art. There's a lot of things that go into elections, into the psyche of delegates and all of that. We can have a discussion about that some other day. But yeah, I got you talking. I wanted that. I got it.
Thank you very much. So you were the MP. Go someone out to George.
I'm a human being and I support the one I want to support.
I extend a hand of fellowship, and you've seen me exhibit it here, to my brother Michael. Together, the focus is to increase the margin of victory between myself and whoever the NPP will elect next month to 20,000 votes, a margin of 20,000 votes. The vision is to kick out the incompetent Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government and bring John Dramani Mahama to the Flagstaff House on the 7th of January 2021. That's all that matters to me, and that's my next focus.
First of all, let me thank the Almighty God for a successful elections. Let me take this opportunity to also thank my family, my wife, my children, my friends, and the delegates. I would also congratulate Honorable Sam George for winning these elections. I think I tried my best, but the delegate selected him. My next line of action will be to do everything possible to get the votes of NDC Ningo Pram increased for our presidential candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Mr. George is and will be the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the 2020 election. So this is the situation here at the Ningo Pram constituency. We have a winner, and that winner is Samuanati George, the incumbent member of parliament.
And one of the incumbent presenters is joining me. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, how was the weekend?
It was good. I was here on Saturday, yes. Right. But you carried pretty much.
Yeah, we were here.
Yeah, but you know, as your election headquarters, we ensured that you were not left out.
Yeah,
we gave extensive coverage of the NDC's primaries. And what we just shown you, the Ningo Pram was one that shocked a lot of us in terms of how close the contest
was.
Wonderful. And I am still surprised there wasn't a recount. You know, I had to check with Joseph Akable if there was a recount.
Because Justice was there
was covering that for us. Because elsewhere somebody would have asked for a recount, especially when the difference is 7.
Only 7.
Yeah, so some judges got to be careful in the constituency.
And if I remember vividly, Joseph was saying the delegates list had 828 of the sort. So it will mean that about 21 people didn't come out to vote. Or maybe they were spot ballots.
Yeah.
I have to check whether
okay, but you know, the papers are carrying this story and many others as well. So let's turn attention to what the newspapers are reporting this Monday, 2 days after the NDC's parliamentary primaries. They've got a little over 70 to cover. So this is just the first leg, first of two. But I guess the biggest is what happened on Saturday. So let's do the papers. I've got the Daily Graphic newspaper, the Daily Statesman, the Finder, and the Ghanaian Times. Let's begin with the Daily Graphic. Front page of the Graphic, which is particularly, I think, heavy today. Front page, NDC parliamentary primaries, 9 incumbents, 4 fresh faces emerge. And then you see on the front page, Mr. Joseph Yelechere, who is out, Jifa Abla Gomashi in, Ras Mubarak out, another shocker. Roland, people didn't expect this.
Yeah, not at all.
At least those of us who are not in the constituency were not expecting this.
Or even following the way the politics are organized or is panning out there. And apparently, it looked like there were comments by top party people when we're doing the analysis that he was not in a very good relationship with the executives. And that's some of the worst sins an MP or any elected executive could commit, not being close relationship and having any cordial relations with your party executive.
But you know, Ras Mubarak is not going down easily. He says he's making a report to the BNI, if he has not already, about some financial
well, he said vote buying and
exactly. So he's referred the matter to the BNI. So you know, we see how this pans out. But still on the front page, Odole Sowa in, Eric Ose Owusu out, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye in. So when in terms of some of the fresh names,
for Felix it was a bit surprising. I thought there was an indigent, well, all of them are indigents, but in terms of who was very much abreast of the politics of the area, was always in close contact with the executives, was one Dr. Brown Kluche.
Okay, so that was your assumption then.
My assumption. And sometimes it just doesn't work that way, I guess.
All right, let's look at the rest of the stories. Presidents in Japan for conference on African development. In the meantime, the most powerful meeting is called the G7, isn't it? Police arrest 2 over alleged recruitment scam is also another headline on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. And in the center spread of the paper this morning, in the abundance of water, why is thirsty? That's a heartbreaking headline right here. The Black Volta, the intake facility of the water supply system. Okay, I'm not sure you have the benefit of that, but you can take a look at it in the center spread of the paper. So I guess the import of this is the fact that there's abundance of rain, particularly when it rains, but why it still doesn't have water. They have to grapple with, over the years, this issue. Blessed with a new water treatment plant that has the capacity to pump 3.3 million gallons of water per day. It is perhaps a tragedy that the plant pumps only 400,000 gallons of water per day. The $55.5 million Jambusi water treatment plant serves less than 15% of the about 120,000 inhabitants of the Upper West Regional Capital, mainly because of the absence of distribution lines from the main transmission pipes. All right, so this is the import of the story. You can check it out in the center spread of the paper. Back page now, Kotoko to play Etoile du Sahel, right? Yeah.
Etoile du Sahel.
Yeah.
After winning that game against
Kano Pillars. Sheffield's hat-trick sends Ashgo through. Benedict will be here with a lot more sport right after the headlines. Let me follow up with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Front page of the Times, fallout from NDC primaries. Chire Mubarak unseated, minority leader goes unopposed. Sosu Dumelo Kwakye Adams triumph. We will have some of the faces that are not exactly new to the party. They've made attempts before in the past, but this was their breakthrough. We'll have some of them in the studio this morning right after sports for a conversation. But still on the front page of the Times, 2 die, others injured in Ayamfuri clash. President attends 7th TICAD in Japan. KNUST to open satellite campus at Obuasi for 2019-2020 academic year. And here's what's in the center spread of the paper. The NDC's primaries, details of how things panned out. Back page is sports. So let's do Finder. Front page of the Finder now. One district, one factory. $80 million steel factory opens. B5 plus to provide 10,000 direct and indirect jobs. Also 30 million Ghana cedis debts owed. GN can't solve 683 million Ghana cedis capital deficit, according to Governments. It's got a picture of a Deputy Information Minister, Nanama Dokua Esiama AJ. Also 310 Ghanaian students received Chinese government scholarship. NIB takes steps to support government's industrial development. 9 MPs lose in NDC primaries. The last paper for me will be the Daily Statesman. Front page of the Daily Statesman. Danny Glover marks year of return in Jamestown. President in Tokyo for TICAD conference. NDC big guns take a tumble. TKO for Mohama appointees in parliamentary primaries. And this is a picture that's been making rounds right there on the front page of the paper. Is Nanoye Letha after her defeat to Adamu Ramadan on Saturday. So this was the defeat look. Is that it?
Yeah. Pensive mood. Wondering. Yeah.
Fair delegates.
A picture speaks louder than 1,000 words.
All right, that's it for the Daily Statesman newspaper.
All right, let's get into the groove as we continue with the Daily Dispatch newspaper. And if prosecutions do not follow in banking crisis, MPP is doomed. Minister wants.
Yeah, but you know, on that, George Rafi, our colleague with Joy Business, sat down with the deputy governor, a deputy director of the Bank of Ghana, who has disclosed. No, I think this disclosure was even on Newsfile on Saturday. Over 60 persons referred, so we should expect prosecution.
Is it deputy governor or deputy director?
Deputy director, I think. Yeah.
All right. So we also have government is reviewing the contract for SkyTrain project. Joe Gate, and Joe Gate is a minister for railways. Oh, please go up so that we see the SkyTrain, the one we intend. Go up. Can we go up so that we can see the SkyTrain? Very good. So we're reviewing the contract for this type of SkyTrain. Today we have it in Ghana. Hallelujah. Money and politics, the challenge of democracy in Ghana. We'll talk about that in a bit, and with accusations, especially by Ras Mubarak about vote buying. I don't know whether. Okay, why NDC executives in Lambele are angry with national executive? It has an attached picture of Ofosu Ampofo, the national chairman of the NDC. On the back page, it tells you the story is a monitored news desk report of the Daily Dispatch, and it has a picture of the back page of the Daily Dispatch has a picture of the Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, who has that quote attributed to him, and he says the eyes are on us to deliver, and so we must be careful. The complaints are too many. If something radical doesn't happen, I speak today as a member of parliament, and there are a lot of complaints from our constituents. Something must be done. It must not be business as usual. It is time to act. We are in for hard times if something radical doesn't happen in terms of prosecution. And he said this on Accra-based Peace FM, according to the Daily Dispatch. Okay. Now let's go to the Daily Guide newspaper. Has on the front page, NDC elections, 9 MPs sacked. Oye Litha, shocked. As if, you know, that's what the newspaper is. So they've attached a short picture of Nana Oye Litha.
But she recovered, isn't it, with that statement that she released, saying that she was going to work towards victory, you know,
so this,
for the
shock picture.
Ah, okay, so 9 MPs sacked. So the defeat is a sack.
Well, it shows that, you know, the constituents, they give you the nod. So once the delegates again don't vote for you on behalf of the constituents.
Yeah, but it's not like they haven't appointed you that they can sack you. or they're sacking you from their constituencies, you still live within the constituency.
Yes, but you've been sacked from the position as MP. That's what it means.
She wasn't MP. Oh, you're not talking about her? Okay.
I'm talking about the 9. Chinese community weighs into Hong Kong violence, and this has been ongoing for 2 months. Yeah. Can we learn something from the residents of Hong Kong? Nigerian police confirmed Takrady girls kidnappers, and 2 killed in a Yamfuri clash. John Dumelo in, Peter Lanchen Tobu in, Jifa Gomashi in, Ras Mubarak out, Yele Chiri out.
My head is bloody, but unbowed.
Was that what he said?
A year later.
Ah, okay. His quotes. Now let's go to the center spread. Then he's one pullout. Then his one pullout has John Benjamin reminds Ghanaians of Dumelo's V8, and it follows a tweet by John Benjamin. And if you take then use one pullout, it's center spread. Okay, we don't have it. Daily Guide. So that's what it has an attached picture. So Potash didn't take the center spread today. She was in a hurry. Sorry for that. We apologize. Usually we would have. And I don't know. You know, John Benjamin had been, before coming to Ghana as the British High Commissioner, had been in Chile as well. And he says at John Dumelo 1, Ayuko Pa for your nomination, the first step on a long political journey to become Ghana's president sometime around the year 20V8. Keche's boss is my ex-girlfriend, says Kessie, etc. So we have other stories as well. Okay. There's also the story about the boss MD forced to resign over bad governance. He has an attached picture of, well, before now, the MD for the Bok Oil Distribution or Storage and Transport Company Limited, George Mensah Oakley. Now let's remind you of that tweet by John Benjamin. John Benjamin, you have to go on Twitter. Twitter is always exciting, and you get to.
He makes Ghana his business.
Yeah, and he has on his handle the flag of Britain.
Do we have the full? Do we have the response that somebody gave, and he went to the person's inbox to go and respond when this was a public conversation?
Oh, okay.
I was a back and forth with this.
Yes, I know. Usually the tap on the left down, where we have 9 currently, but we can, because it's a picture, it's a screenshot, so we cannot show that. Now let me just do 2 more. And so we have the Gold Street business. The Gold Street business has on the front page, stock market hits lowest level in nearly 2 years. 162.13 million Ghana cedis raised in 20-year fixed bonds. We had intended to raise 450 million. Just didn't happen. I don't know. Does it mean that we don't have confidence in the economy, etc.? I don't know. There are all sorts of attributions to this. But you just have to get to read the story. Quite interesting, though, and the reasons why we're not able to meet that target of 450 we intended to raise. First port to duty rule unlikely to commence this year. Modality is not agreed by landlocked countries. And let me do the last story. That is the publisher. The new publisher has on the front page, NDC picks MPs. Big names fall. John Dumelo is up there. That's the new publisher, not the Ghanaian publisher. Okay, so we have John Dumelo, Zaneto Rollins, Jifa Gomashi, and then we have Peter Tobo, Lancheni Tobo is there, and then Kofi Adams. Okay. Oh. Mama V.
I'm looking at this story about the police arresting 2 of alleged recruitment scams. Page 20. No, this is Ghana, eh? And you remember the scam in 2015 where lots of people brought themselves to the capital, to the training facility of the police, to the training facility of the police, because they had received letters asking them.
Was it also the
to
story
start
that resulted in
Patrick Timele's suspension?
I remember
if you like.
that.
Okay. All right. So there's another. People are finding new ways of doing this, and they're targeting those on the police waiting lists. because, you know, not the police can't take everybody that comes in.
Does
so
it mean that they got access
list.
to the police waiting list?
Well, there's always some connection somewhere, right? They contacted people, but somebody prompted the police and they decided, okay, we can get to the bottom of it, so let's push one person in. And that's what resulted in there. So they're asking people to be very cautious. If you hear that the police or any security agency is recruiting or they're contacting you because you are on their waiting list, please make sure you cross-check that information. It could just well be a scam. But in this situation, Bernard Amano Wayo, 47, and Emmanuel Saki, 55, were arrested at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Accra, where they had set up a temporary recruitment point last Friday. The suspects, according to the police, were collecting between 2,000 Ghana cedis and 3,000 Ghana cedis from their victims using purported official forms and the venue as decoys in the recruitment scam to convince their victims. See, they're very bold. If I say I'm recruiting and I am at the Golden Tulip Hotel, you think it's genuine. A source close to the Police Intelligence Directorate told the Daily Graphic yesterday that at the time of the arrest, the suspects were at a meeting with 3 of their victims whom they were assisting to fill forms after collecting money from them under the pretext of assisting them to secure enlistment into the Ghana Police Service. You can...
the story also reminds me about the efforts that the security agencies, especially the FBI, and the coordination they did to arrest scammers of Nigerian descent who are living in Nigeria and also especially in the US. And now we know that the Western Union has officially banned all trade, and they've done that since Friday or so with Nigeria. And we had a video we wanted to share with you. We'll see, it will take some time, but even if we go onto the net, we'll get to, and you know, it shows how if the police work closely with informants, etc., because you see that the actions of certain people, and this is what I think those in the West tend to do, they look at the lifestyle, the way you spend, and then they trail you for a very long time. Yeah, and they have the patience. But for us, Charlie, I don't know, maybe we could do better, and also tend to learn about how they tend to do that. What's happening is that in that scam case, you also tend to use the same thing. For example, if you're lonely or you need a companion, you know, they tend to date a lot using the virtual means, having some letters and some love messages shared. And ultimately, they scam people of some $73 million.
Yeah, this was a huge operation.
Only 80 people have been arrested. Well, we were told that it even extends to more people, hundreds of people. Yeah, shows that the police could do more.
We have some more crime stories in the Ghanaian Times. So page 3, 2 persons. Okay, no. So first, the crime story. Dismissed policeman and 2 others have been arrested for attempting to rob 3 students at Taifa in Accra. So ex-corporal Eric Ajay, 48, Mutakilo Sadiq, 41, and Samuel Apia, who claimed were policemen, were grabbed when they reportedly followed the students in an attempt to rob them. And the ex-policeman, who is said to be on court bail, has similar robbery cases against him at police stations at Dansuman and Medina, all in Accra and Koforidua in the eastern region. So this is something that he's been doing. The commanding officer of the Accra Regional Police Commander, Deputy Commissioner of Police Frederick Edwenim, confirmed the story to Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday, and he said on August 19 at about 5:30 p.m., some residents of Taifa arrested the suspects and handed them over to the Achimota station and reported that the suspects who posed as personnel of the Ghana Police Service attempted to rob the students. And if we set a very good example, it would encourage citizens to call in the police when they arrest someone. So this is really important for the prosecution to get to the bottom.
And you know that Joy News, we have something with the police. Just in case you have any information, you can call the police number, 18555. And also all the emergency numbers they have to report.
There's also another story of an ex-convict who returned to jail for stealing mobile phone worth 500 Ghana cedis. He came back and he decided to steal and go back. He's only 22 years, and they've tagged him as a habitual thief at Tuaso in the Echema in Wabieja South Municipality. He's been convicted and jailed several times by the Nkawie Circuit Court and he's again been sentenced to 3 years imprisonment by the same court for stealing. I think the last time he went in was about a year or so. So this is somebody who loves to be in jail, apparently, to be behind bars. And then in Ho, police grabbed cyber fraudsters. So this is related to the American story that you were just sharing a while ago. Police in Ho on Thursday arrested suspected cyber fraudsters in the Ho municipality of the Volta region. The suspect are one is 18, 19, another is 19, a third person is 19, and then two 20-year-olds and two 22-year-olds. They're really young. The suspects were arrested in a suburb that's in Ho, and the police received retrieved in that operation 20 laptop computers and Huawei routers from the suspect. So you can read details of that story. We have to do myjoyonline.com before we make way for sport. So you can read details of all these stories in the newspapers.
The massive online scam operation busted, and downtown LA, but we also know it extends to Texas and the rest.
I'm not sure we have time to listen to the details, do we? So let's just do myjoyonline.com.
Okay. So we do myjoyonline.com. Okay. So myjoyonline.com will be on your screens, and then we'll give you the latest updates. Okay. So we have Onga Jollof Battle, 24-year-old chef secures Ghana's bragging right over Nigeria. Onga. Okay. Contract for sale, conflict of interest clearly defined in Constitution, contrary to what had been said in other quarters by some known legal personalities, lawyer, and that's Clara Cassati, who has been quoted there on his file. So we have all these stories on myjoyonline.com. Okay, we now have to make way for sports, and Benedict Owusu is ready with the latest updates.
Just before sports, I wanted to share something. Come up quickly. Okay, so here we go. It's related to a festival by the Ziope traditional area. It starts this week. It's a week-long festival celebration. The festival is Agblezan, and it's to celebrate the achievement of their illustrious farmers and thank God for a bumper harvest. It will be climaxed with a grand derby on Saturday, August 31. So all citizens of Ziope and patrons are invited to be part of the celebration. So if you come for the area, please invite a friend so that you can be part of this week's festival. I'll keep reminding you every day this week. Yeah. Stay with us, we've got sports coming up.
Till Friday, Saturday. Whose is it?